This is our three-way intersection: water, electric, and pump electric. We've been backfilling for a couple of days now. And we're just about up to the end of the well electric. This will be right up around to there. This thing has been coming in very handy to get into these tight spots here between the trench and the house. See, the house is right over there, not far from the front of the vehicle. I'll tell you, it's been work. Like I said before, we got 32 tons of gravel. I can show you those piles in a minute with how much we've dug out of there so far. But anything we had extra, we were going to cap off the driveway a little more, like back where my truck is parked. Just put a little more crown on it because there's some puddles that sit in there. But you know, when they dump these piles, they don't look like much until you start digging in. And then you see how slowly they go down. So if you look at that one, that's still pretty much hasn't been dug on this side yet. So you can get an idea how big they are in the beginning. And this one we've been digging into quite a bit. As you can see, they don't go down a whole lot. We've probably done about, I don't know, 6 or 7 loads with that little Can-Am. So we had really bad rain yesterday, so we didn't get started until like, I think it was probably 1 in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon, something like that. A lot of people say this isn't necessary, but with the way these boulders are that come out of this ground, I really want these lines protected before we backfill with those big things falling down on it. So yeah, my wife's a good little helper down there. Make sure everything is just right. And we've gotten quite a ways in a we've gotten quite a ways in a couple of days. So we did find a couple of leaks in the house, which was pretty frustrating. To the best of my knowledge, maybe some of you experienced people could tell me if this is correct or not. Before the windows went in, my metal building contractor put in J-channel, like a surrounding around the opening. I climb a little hill here. So this here is the J-channel, and it looks like a lot of spaces. See, this got silicone in it here, but a lot of the spaces like up on top and stuff, they look like they didn't do anything on them. And I kind of think that that's probably a source of leakage, especially if they form a dam by doing the sides but not doing the top. Then all the water would just sit in the top and not drain out. It can't be my window guy because his sealer is right here. I mean, you can hardly tell the difference between the window and the sealer because it's such a perfect job. So everything he did is out here. Everything the builder with the building did is right here. So this whole thing under here, I don't know if it's necessary, but there's no caulk, no silicone, nothing under there. And then you get over to this other window. I don't know if you can see it from the ground or not, but this one's kind of a pain in the rear too. This was one of the ones that was leaking. And if you can see, like this ridge here, if you follow that ridge all the way up, you can see the J-channel is sitting right on top of that ridge. So there's no way to caulk down behind it. I mean, all they had to do was move the thing over 2 more inches and they would have been off that ridge. But nope, I don't think they think sometimes. So now the only option I have is to caulk it as I was saying, now the only option I have is to caulk it right on top of that ridge and somehow make it high enough on the top where the water will spill out over that. Now my builder who contracted these guys said that they never caulk around the J channel, but I don't know. It just seems like that's a source of leak if they don't do it. The other thing is some of them they did, some of them they didn't. So it's like, come on, you know. A little bit frustrating, but God is in control. And we just know this will come out okay in the end. That's all I got for now. Bye. That's how we've been doing it, folks. We're anticipating the arrival of my wife coming around the mountain here. She just left that side of the building. So let's see how long she takes to get around to this side of the building. It was a little bit of a hairy journey the first time I came through when this pile right here was all stacked up and this vehicle was like laying way up on the side there. I can hear her. There she is. Let's see what happens here. No challenge at all for it. Just goes right through there. All right, let me help her get in. So here's our technique. I give her 3 buckets of gravel, 3 shovels full. And then my dear wife takes it away. All the way down to the end of the line. We're filling over the top of the wire coming to the house now. And like where she's standing all the way up to me, it's too narrow to get the machine in.
I gotta clean out the ditch.
So it's working out well. She's working her tail off. And a view from the inside. There's that well that we tried digging before that failed. So we got to squeeze in between that. These trees over here. Up on the berm of the dirt that's been dug out. This thing's a beast. It just walks right up over this stuff. Pretty amazing. It's very smooth too with these oversized tires and everything. That's our big drop off the backyard. I don't know if you can get the perspective of how slanted that is, but that's part of why we got this unit, so we could be able to drive down on that. And eventually this is where the septic will go back in here. And the house is right over there. This is that area last week that I told you I found some of that clean fill right up along in here. back to another pile to start shoveling another load. Catch you a little later. There it is, folks. We're at the telephone pole. Got the whole thing protected today. All the way down that way. Around we turned the water. The electric up to there where the post is up. And all the way up that way. All done. Thanks for watching.